Hey everybody, Jake here and welcome to the hobby. PSA recently raised the prices on their tier grading services. Now the cheapest value option to grade a Pokemon card with PSA is $20. So grading 5 card costs you $100 and grading 50 Pokemon card costs you $1,000. So very expensive. I said in a recent Q&A that I think there's still opportunity to grade with PSA. So let me share with you guys some cards I'm submitting to PSA for grading for encapsulation. The biggest benefit to grading with PSA right now is that they also raised the upper limit for maximum declared value of $499, which is the new value from the old value, which was $249 that it was before. So I'm going to be sending in a lot of cards that I could not send at the prior value level. These are cards that are valued at right around $300 to $500 post grading. That's very important. PSA wants you to value your cards based on the grade that you think your cards, or the value that you think your cards will be worth after the grading. It's based on best judgment. So the way I always assume my cards is that I assume that they're going to come back as a PSA 9 because PSA 10s are technically outside of the norm. Most cards will come back in near mint condition. A PSA 10 is gem mint, which is very rare for most Pokemon cards. Like this Pikachu, for example, I usually send a lot of copies of Pikachu promo cards to PSA. I value this card above their prior $249 value. So I'm going to be sending these off for the $20 grading service tier. Really solid group of Pikachu cards. I think the Pikachu Sword and Shield promo number 20 is a really solid promo that came out from 2020. And one of the things I talked about before is that the reason I grade Pokemon cards is for encapsulation, authentication. It makes it so much easier to trade these cards and value them after they've been graded, because there's no questioning the condition of the card or the authenticity of the card. And another reason why I grade my Pokemon cards, and here we have the Cramorant Pikachu promo card, another great card that is currently valued well above the prior PSA tier of $249, so I could not send it to PSA anyway. The previous next level tier would have been $50, so I actually saved $30 with this new grading service rather than using the old one. So here we go. Really nice value gain by sending off with the new service over the prior one. And one of the things I've discussed before is one of the reasons why I grade a lot of cards is it saves me a lot of money. And how this works is that these are cards that I want to have inside of my collection in a PSA 10 condition if I can. And if I want these in a PSA 10 condition, then grading them myself tends to be a lot cheaper than if I were to purchase the PSA 10 version off the market, right? So this Arceus, Dialga Palkia in a PSA 10 on the open market might cost me well over $200, but having a copy that I purchase near mint or I open on a pack myself and then grading it with a $20 service tends to be a bit cheaper. Now the risk is that I don't get this card back in a PSA 10 condition, and that's okay. Here we have the Armor Mewtwo, another card that I'm currently chasing in a PSA 10. This one right here might not come back as a PSA 10. As you guys can see, I always value my cards at a PSA 9. I don't value them at a PSA 10 because I don't automatically assume that it's a PSA 10. I think that's a bit of a miss on some people, and I think it's okay too. If you want to value your cards at a PSA 10, that's totally fine. And a big benefit with grading them or valuing them at a PSA 10 is that you get more insurance money if your cards were ever lost or damaged. If I ever lose these cards during the PSA grading service, then I would get the value that I set these cards at, which was at a PSA 9, and I'm totally fine with that. So yeah, the Armor Mewtwo, here's one I don't think is going to get a PSA 10 for sure. The centering's very off on that one. Here's another, a little bit nicer So hopefully this one comes back as a 10. We have a Sylveon GX, pulled this card on a recent Hidden Fates opening video, really solid card. We also have a Solgaleo GX. So those were the batch of cards that I'm sending off. These are mainly cards that are going to be valued well above the old $249 tier and are just in range of the $499 tier that is the new one. So these are cards that I would value right around $300 to $500 that I was unable to send off based on the old tier list. Now we have some cards that might not be in that level, but I really want to grade these cards anyway because, as you guys know, I'm currently collecting a lot of full art trainer cards. So this is another thing that I think is a lot of people are missing. It's okay to grade cards simply because you want to. Grading your cards does not automatically mean that it raises the value of your cards. You should grade your cards if you want to keep them safe or if you want to have them authenticated as well. And you might just be curious what condition your cards are in. Maybe you think your cards are gem mint, but you're worried that there's some whitening on the back that might make it a PSA 9 or 8. Knowing the condition of your cards and keeping them encapsulated is a great benefit of grading that a lot of people miss. Here we have the Lily in a PSA 10 is valued well above the $499 tier, but this, I swear to you, will never get a PSA 10. The centering on this card is so off. It's a little bit unfortunate. That is such a beautiful card and it's so off-centered, but yeah, I have a couple of extra copies of Lily that are pretty darn off-centered. This one, you're thinking, wow, the front looks great, but it's the back that's also pretty abysmal. The centering on the back is a little bit off. You can see that there's a lot more on the top compared to the bottom. So these two Lily I purchased in mint condition off TCG Player. Came back and they are mint condition, but the centering is a little bit off, so I can understand why the collectors were offloading them. I'm also sending off a lot of other full art trainers that I am missing from my collection in any graded capacity. We have Lycia, we have B. So these are cards that are under the $249 tier prior, or are really not cards that are in the $300 to $500 range, but I want to have these cards graded anyway because I just want them graded in my collection, and that's totally fine, right? You don't have to just send in cards that are gonna make you money or gonna bring back value. I'm just grading cards here because I like some full art trainers in my collection, and so we have a lot of ones that I want a graded copy of. We have Blues Tactics, Green's Exploration. I just get, and also great benefit of this video is I just get to show off my new full art trainer cards, like all drawn by Naoki Saito, a favorite artist of mine. He has a YouTube channel and it's really solid. It's all in Japanese though, so kind of difficult to watch. We have a Cynthia that I actually pulled in a recent video as well. We have the tag team Bella and Bryson Man. We have the male welder from the tag team GX collection. We have Pokekid from the recent Shining Fates. We have Skyla, we have Karina's Focus, as well as a personal favorite of mine, the Sightseer card. This card is not available in English. That's just one of the amazing things about the Japanese cards, is you can get some exclusive artwork, and look at how gorgeous this artwork is, also drawn by Naoki Saito. Beautiful card that you just will never see in English, and it's a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, 2 copies of it. Hopefully one of these are in a PSA 10 condition, but like I said, that's outside of the norm. But outside of PSA, there's also some great other brands out there that do grading services as well, including BGS and CGC. And I'm also going to be sending off some cards to CGC. The reasons why I'm sending these cards to CGC is that CGC offers the cheapest grading service right now if you can take advantage of their bulk grading service. So if you send in a minimum of 50 cards, you can get your grading service down as cheap as $8. So what kind of cards am I sending to CGC? These are cards that are vintage, and I just want to have these graded because a lot of people right now are really worried about fake cards when it comes to purchasing vintage Pokemon cards. So CGC is perfect right now for some affordable vintage Pokemon cards. So here we have the Holo Machamp. A lot of these cards aren't very expensive. We have a Venusaur. This one is in pretty poor condition. You guys can see some serious whitening around it. So these cards aren't super valuable at all, but I want these to be encapsulated and authenticated. It'll give me a lot of peace of mind. It'll give other collectors a lot of peace of mind if I ever decide to trade these or sell these or pass them on to other collectors. It will just be a lot easier to do any of that when these cards are fully graded. So I think CGC is also another great opportunity if you want to grade some more affordable Pokemon cards. So $8 per card is significantly cheaper than PSA. These are cards that I don't think you really care if they're PSA graded or BGS graded or CGC graded. You just want to know that these cards are real and you want to know what kind of condition these cards are in, and CGC will do that job perfectly. Here we have a Suicune, really solid card, but once again, pretty battered up. So this is a card that I just want to have encapsulated and graded. I just want to know what condition it's in, and I want to know it's real. I do not care too much about the grade on these cards. I have plenty of copies of the base set Mewtwo. Nothing too crazy here. Like I said, CGC is great for that right now. So what kind of cards do you want to send to BGS? I have no cards that I'm sending off to BGS in this video, but BGS also has some wonderful opportunities. The best opportunity with BGS right now is going to be their Black Label. So what is a BGS Black Label? It's a label for a pristine card. It means the card is perfect in every single possible way. There is no damage on the surface. The centering is absolutely perfect and all of that jazz. Now that's what BGS claim. A lot of people have said that Black Label cards are not perfect, but that's just what BGS is stating with their label. Most collectors want their cards in perfect condition. That's why cards that have the BGS Black Label hold a high premium even over a PSA 10. So that's what I would recommend sending to BGS. Cards that you think are in perfect condition, perfect in every single possible way. If you think your card's immaculate, then it might be worth it to grade with BGS, because that chance that you get a Black Label might be worth it to you. That Black Label will increase the value of your card significantly, and knowing that it is pristine will make it a real prize trophy card for your collection. It doesn't even matter what card it is. Any one of these cards that I'm showing in today's video, if any of these get a BGS Black Label, you can bet I'm going to display it, because I want people to see that I have a pristine Japanese jungle Articuno or a Heracross. Any of these cards would be wonderful in a Black Label encapsulation, but however, none of these cards are perfect. These are cards that are vintage. They all have a little bit of wear and tear on them, so that's why I'm sending these to CGC. My main purpose for grading these cards with CGC is for the encapsulation and authentication. I just want those two specific things, so that's why I'm willing to go with the $8 value grading option on that. With PSA, it's a little bit different. I want these for my own personal collection for sure, and so I'm willing to pay the premium and get these cards graded with PSA, and hopefully I can get my Full Art Trainer collection off to a really strong start. Alright everybody, that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy seeing some pieces from my own personal collection. I can't wait to send these off for grading and see what they come back as. I hope that helps you guys understand a little bit more about some of the opportunities and what grading service you want to go with, whether it be PSA, CGC, or BGS. If you have any other question when it comes to grading your Pokemon cards, which service to use, how to pack your cards, anything like that, I'm more than happy to help down in the comments. So feel free to leave me a question and I'll get back to you with my answer as quickly as I can. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.